You see, we're in hidden, but boy, are we close to being discovered. There's definitely somebody still up there. And I don't much care to find out. The goal here again is not to maximize my kill count, it is to survive. So, we are going to definitely go to get a good night's sleep somewhere. But I think that as advertised, the first thing I want to do here is I don't want to go very far because Fallout being Fallout, I am concerned about an unexpected crash that would cause me to lose everything that I've just done, because this is survival mode and I can only save when I sleep. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here and onto this roof, which is relatively safe, and use that aforementioned campfire, which is actually selected for us. And then builds a handy dandy campfire here. And then we will build ourselves a sleeping bag. And then we'll sleep. And by doing that, we save our game and guarantee that we don't lose our progress. So that's kind of my method. I wake up and Piper's sitting on my sleeping bag, crouching on my sleeping bag. Very rude, very rude. How do I get rid of this thing? As you can see, yes, there actually are other things that I can build. After you build that, you can build, depending on what supplies you have, you can build all kinds of, fun tidbits and, different types of tents, and hell, you can build yourself a water pump in the middle of the forest. All kinds of stuff. So, pretty neat. Pretty neat. You can actually build yourself a little homestead if you want, a little cabin, if you should. I have no idea what that means. But we're gonna, for now, we will just, we'll just leave that there. And when I build another campfire, this one will disappear and it'll be replaced. But yeah, pretty neat. I really love that. And again, I don't. Some people might say, "Oh, come on! Like the whole point of survival mode is you can't save everywhere. You have to save when you sleep." I mean, okay. You tell me how. Pardon me. Ah, there we go. Pardon me, I lost my voice there for a second. But yeah, as I was saying, I mean, I I am free to hear arguments about why the ability to make a bedroll in the game makes the game too easy. Um, but I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I think it's logical and it makes sense in the fiction that you set up for yourself in the game. That of course you would be. Of course you can take a sleeping bag and sleep if you're in a safe place. And again, in this game, how often are you really in a safe place? We're also, of course, coming up on the Starlight Drive-In, which is another location that we've actually already cleared out. I've already cleared it out of enemies. And I'm curious as to, I haven't really gotten again, I've only gotten the one quest from Preston. I haven't kind of gone into the full Minuteman building, alliance building mode. But I'm curious as to whether he will give this to me as a location. I believe he won't, because once you control the workshop, it considers it owned. So it doesn't give you that quest as sort of like, hey, go build a settlement here. But this is definitely high on my list. I consider Starlight Drive-In to be one of the major locations for building. While we're here, I don't want to get surprised, but this may seem a little bit counterintuitive, but because I don't want to get surprised by whatever kind of tends to spawn down underneath that train trestle, I'm going to get closer to it. Seems like a crazy thing to say, right? What I want to do is I want to get in a position where I can observe what's over there from the relative safety of the Starlight Drive-In projection tower. Yeah, there's something over there. It might just be the Brahmin who are detecting me, but oh, no, that's caution. That is caution. There's something hostile over there. What is it? Something's down there. Is it a mad Brahmin? Oh, that sounds like a bug. Where is it? There's the Brahmin. Where is the bug? Where is the bug? Did the Brahmin kill the... Oh, there he is.
Guess this is it for you.
Bugs can get up to me, but I'm not that worried about it. I mean, it's a freaking bloatfly after all. Oh, more of them. How about that? Wow, they're bombing me.
Pitiful.
Piper is criticizing the bloatfly's accuracy. Or maybe mine. I don't know. She might be criticizing mine. One more. Well, that wasn't exactly the lethal spawn that I was expecting, but, vegetarians look away. I did that because I need that Brahmin meat. I'm sorry, I'm running a little low on food. So I'm in danger. So supposedly there's one more. Where is he? So yeah, I came down here to see what might have spawned down there by the train trestles. So far, it looks like bloatflies? I have, in this game alone, I've seen, plenty of things as I was making my way by here. I believe a legendary rad scorpion was down there not too long ago. I have seen death claws right up to Deathclaw matriarchs coming out of there. All kinds of nasty things coming out of there. There's a dead individual, settler of some kind. All right, I think the bloatfly has moved along. At least the immediate area, so we're going to continue on our way. But I do want to pick... Oh, where is it? It's picking me up. It's picking me up. Where is it? Ah. There he is, son of a bitch. Now I just want to kill him because he's messing with my stealth. He's messing with my detection more. You know, if I don't take him out, then I might be blind to something more threatening. The other thing that drives me nuts about bloatflies, and I'm not probably going to even try to collect the bloatfly meat. A, they don't always spawn meat, as we've seen. They very often spawn
Free for the taking.
glands, bloatfly glands, which are not useful to me. Also, when their bodies break apart, there's several large pieces of their bodies, but only one of them is harvestable. It's very annoying. But yeah, it looks like that's what spawned down here, so good for me, good for me. Let's just see this poor settler down here. Oh, he's a junkie. That's a shame. A red dress. I think we're actually going to go back to Starlight and dump off some of this stuff. Starlight is, among other things, because it has so much ground, so much usable area. Not only do I use it as a center of food production and a center of trade, but I also use it as a good sort of linchpin point for provisioners. So when I set up my trade routes, I tend to pardon me, make Starlight one of the central locations that I take people from and put on provision routes. Yeah, I just think I regard it as kind of one of the major settlements for the Minutemen. We're gonna go over here and we're gonna dump some of that stuff away for later. Yeah, I mean, for instance, for me, it might seem like, why are you carrying around a red dress and all? Well, and, you know, the explorer's outfit and all this other stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna give that to people at some point. That's gonna go. It's gonna go in the repertoire here for later use. And I probably, you know, mayhap I will do that. Actually, I think I might do that before the next stream. I will not only set up Tenpines, but I'll see if I can set up Starlight as well. Kind of just jump the gun on old Preston. Hey man, not only did I help that settlement you sent me to, I helped another settlement that I talked to by myself, and I started a settlement right down the road. So there. Overachiever. Going to the rifle now because we're in open country. I do not want to get caught flat-footed by something far away from me. Alright. Something's in the area. Oh, I know what we haven't done yet. Done the yard over there. A settler. Okay, well, I'm not worried about a settler. But I think what I want to do is I'm going to approach here. I just want to look around here real quick. Make sure there's no surprises, but yeah. So there is an area over here that I have not encountered yet, which I probably should deal with right now. It's not particularly challenging, but it is not something I can take entirely casually either. And that is this the train yard over here, Bedford Station. Very, very rarely do I approach from this direction. Certainly, the best way to deal with ghouls, as we saw earlier, is to deal with them with a soundless weapon. You don't want to be firing away with a loud gun with ghouls.
Hey, something's out. Hey, they're here.
Of course, Piper ruins all that, but that's all right. That's Piper. And you just see that. I mean, I thought I'm part of the Stormtrooper Marksmanship Academy. Look at how many shots she... Oh, I'd never even seen that one before. Oh, man. Well, what was I just saying? At least I've got VATS. They're kind of funny when you take their limbs off.
Didn't want them to quit, did they?
It's a little bit like the Black Knight from Monty
They're in
Python.
our hands anyway.
It's merely a flesh wound. Well, that's them. There's more of them around here, but there's something else I want to take a look at here, and that is kind of important to me for story purposes. This, of course, is the body of the Dutchman. And the Dutchman had instructions, and what were the instructions? So we'll look at that real quick, just because, again, I don't look at a lot of these, but I think that this is important. Deliver your package to the old switching station. The runner arrives at midnight. If you need gear, look for the blue barrel. Alright, so that's an interesting comment. But more interesting is this. A very grim scene. Blood, a pipe pistol. And then this terminal, which tells a story. In audio, in this case.
It's past. She's late. No. Something's wrong. Someone's coming. Look. 5 of them. It's a trap. Damn it. They've got us surrounded. What do we do? I'll draw them off. Give me a count of 10, then break for the tree line. What? Dutchman, There's no time. Good luck, A9. 10, 9, 8, 7. No! No! No. I'm not going back. I can't. I won't.
And so there is a very interesting kind of piece of information for our protagonist, for Thomas Jr., because honestly, up until now, all he knew about the railroad was they are the enemy of the Institute, and all he knew about that was that they were what he heard 2 guys talking about in Diamond City. You know, it's a fairy tale, man. Come on. Follow the Freedom Trail. I mean, he might have picked up on that to say, well, I know what the Freedom Trail is. He lived in Boston before the war. So that may not have been any surprise to him. But he doesn't know anything else about them up until... And he doesn't necessarily know that Dutchman is with the Minutemen. He hasn't made that connection yet. But but he at least had that kind of that's going to be a little piece of information that's going to kind of stick in his brain, and he's going to have to wonder about later on. And now, by the blue barrel, he sees this symbol. So again, you got to wonder. Oh, a Coast Guard hat. Well, we definitely want a Coast Guard hat. I don't know if I want a longshoreman outfit right now. If I were going to a place where I could dress a... I don't think that the... It does have some benefits, though, does it not? What does the longshoreman outfit do? I'm such a pack rat, I'm telling you. I love picking this stuff up, and I love... actually, oh, it's kind of a weird thing. It has its energy resistance listed below. It's odd. I'm going to pick it up. Why not? I just hold on to it. Maybe I'll give it to one of the farmers. So the smartest thing to do here, of course, is to cut around the settlement, around the Bedford
Blue,
station.
we're not alone here. Put it back down.
I hear another one crawling out of wherever they are. I don't see him. Of course, when in doubt, hit him in the legs. You learn that with ferals pretty early. I haven't been doing it much in this mode, and that is mainly because, of course, I guess that's the one thing with the fair fight mod, that once you have the damage multiplier, you know, you don't have to do that thing where you're hitting ghouls in the legs just to slow them down, because you can put them down. Now, on the one hand, I like that because they're half-naked, crazy, irradiated people. They shouldn't be that hard to put down. I mean, they just shouldn't. I don't care how tough they are. It shouldn't be that, you know, that difficult. On the other hand, like, you know, I do, you know, it is kind of a useful tactic. But it's a useful tactic to remember for other creatures. You know, people very often bring it up to like, oh, this is how you take out ghouls before they close with you. Well, there is no reason that you can't use that exact same tactic with other creatures. You can use it with death claws. And I have in the past. I still think the best way to survive a death claw is to run inside the nearest structure and attack it from there. But, you know. But you see, just more stuff. There's plenty of stuff around here. So it's very, very useful. But now, of course, I'm overloaded again, so I gotta give Piper some stuff.
You say the word.
No. Just stand still
Looking
so I
for
can...
something specific?
Not really. Kind of just looking for you to hold on to everything I can't be bothered to carry right now. There we go. Making my life easier, Piper. Okay. Alright, I think that's... Is there anything behind that door? Sometimes I think that there's... Maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm misremembering, but maybe I'm not. No. Okay. Well, there we go. We've cleared this... but again, a lot of good stuff in here. A lot of good stuff. So let's just... oh, wait a minute. There is something. I knew there was something hiding in some corner I wasn't thinking of. That is for supplying Tenpines Bluff with the steel and oil and everything else that they need so we can build them an adequate number of defensive turrets. That's what we're going to do when we get there. So yeah, the kneecapping tactic may not be necessary for ghouls too much in this. I mean, I would still use it if I ran to a glowing one, if I thought I couldn't take him down, or maybe sometimes a withered ghoul. But it is useful on Deathclaws. It's useful on other critters that charge. Not so much in. Well, it does work on Yaogwai and four-legged creatures, but I found that it doesn't work quite as well as you might expect. They have 4 legs. Not quite as easy to slow down. So here we are again. I'm trying not to. I do want to keep up my VAT scanning. There are two around here. There's 2 directions I expect things to come from. Sometimes super mutants spawn up there on the hillside, and sometimes threats spawn down there. But yes, Tenpines Bluff is the first settlement that you officially have joined the Minutemen. It's kind of off to the side. It's a little bit limited in space, and of course, as you first get it, it's a little limited in population. So, and it's limited in resources. So there's only so much you can do with it. But at the very least, I like to give them a nicer place to live. I mean, they're living in the structures that they should be using to store their tools, basically. And there it is. Like, that's where they live. That's where they live. It's not even a proper wall. I'm sure I can improve their lot. Oh, but look who it is. It's Lucas Miller. I've been wondering, how much cash have I got? Damn it, I've only got 708. Well, let me see what I can sell Lucas and see what I can get here. I at least want to take a look at what he's got.
Got the best armor in these parts.
Let's take a look.
Focus on stopping power. Pretty, don't stop bullets.
I love that guy. So yeah, he's got the champion left. Oh, I can afford it. I can afford it. All right, let's look at what I've got on my. Let's look at everything that he's got, just so I have. Oh boy, he's got. This is a tough one, guys. He's got the Mantis Left Greave, which is another +1 to my agility and perception, which, as we know, is key to my build. The champion left arm. Well, actually, if you look at it, the champion left arm is actually I've almost got better. I've got better. Oh, but I can't afford that one. I can't remotely afford that one. Well, I guess that makes that decision for me. The Mantis Left Greave. Well, maybe someday I'll get the Mantis Left Greave. Wastelander's right leg. Okay. What have I got in my current? I've got the Lucky Left leg. I've got the Punishing Metal right leg. That's right. Reflects 10% of melee damage back on an attacker. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's more useful. The thing is that I get hit in melee potentially all the time, right? You know, I get hit by I could get hit by ghouls, I could get hit by mutant hounds, by super mutants, by all kinds of things. Whereas this is very specialized. It only protects me against super mutants particularly. So, side note, did the Triggermen ever wear bowlers? Did you see any Triggerman wearing a bowler? No, I didn't. I don't think they. I think that's like. I think the reason he has the Triggerman bowler is because the Triggermen don't wear any bowlers anymore, and they got rid of them all. So there's just a bunch of former Triggerman, once worn. It's like surplus. It's like it's Triggerman surplus. But yeah, I guess we're not going to go for the Mantis arm guard, the left greave. Left greave, left arm guard. We're not going to go for those two because they're just too damn expensive. But we do not have any super magic awesome left arm. So we're gonna definitely buy the champion left arm, because who wouldn't want a little more strength? And in return, so I am not walking around with almost no cash, I'm gonna sell him just a little bit of my drugs, which again I regard drugs as I said, as sort of chemical money. Just as in a anybody who's ever played any kind of... Oh, and I can sell them some stim packs. I'm never going to use all these stim packs in my life. As I've said before, if I use that many stim packs, I'm dead. And I'm always collecting more. Yeah. So there. I still have left with 40 stim packs, and now I'm getting 100 gold. 100 gold! There I go again. I'm mixing my genres. I'm getting 100 caps back. But anybody in a fantasy game, you know, we like to refer to gemstones, when you get gemstones, as crystal and money, right? Because that's really typically, unless there's some crafting system for the gems, that tends to be what they are. They're very small, portable money. But we'll accept that. We will accept that as a deal. I am quite pleased with that transaction. So here we are. We've made it back. I'm so glad that this is one of Lucas's regular stops. I'm so glad we caught him here. And so now we will talk to the farmer here, the settler, who unfortunately has no name. I kind of wish he had a name. I have a settler mod that gives settlers names, but I think it only gives them names to ones that that spawn for me. I don't know if it gives them to names of ones that exist, which is kind of disappointing. But
you find those raiders?
Yep, I took care of them.
No kidding? That's the best piece of news we've had around here for a good long time. So we've been talking. We decided if you came through for us, we'd join up with the Minutemen again. If we want things to get better, we've got to start helping each other. So, we're in. You can count on us if you need help down the line. Thanks again, friend.
All right, so they're in. They are in. So that's fantastic. So now Tenpines Bluff has joined the cause of the Minutemen, and I have indeed taken the first step in the long, long journey to getting the Minutemen back on track and back on the map here. And what we're going to do right now is I'm going to walk over here just as sort of my final act here and make sure that this place is clear of what I think is in here, which is bugs. Yeah, sure enough, there they are. There we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, there is another one. Ha! I'm like, who's shooting at me? Oh, they weren't shooting at me. They were shooting at the rad roach right next to me. Oh, well. Well, it had to be done. Had to be done. And look at that. I got some irradiated blood and some nuclear material out of the deal. So yes. So we are here. I'm certainly not going to sleep in that filthy mattress. Oh, am I infected with something? Why, I am, it seems. Fatigue. Require more frequent sleep. Well, that's okay. That's understandable. I can deal with that in a second.
How's that leg healing up?
It's healing up pretty good.
That's good to hear.
And so I think, folks, that is where we're going to leave it. We have now recruited... I got sick in the bargain just at the last minute there, but that's okay. That's okay. I've got antibiotics for a reason. But here we are in Tenpines Bluff, and we're going to stay here for a little while, just probably over as long as it takes me to stay and get them started on rebuilding their settlement and making it a little more respectable. And we will see the results next time, as promised. This is, of course, Old Tom Gin. This is Thomas Jr., Hero of the Wasteland, and this is my playthrough of Fallout 4. Survival mode, my permadeath run. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you again next time.